Hello everyone, welcome back to part 2 of CaseyBuilds live on the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. It was a lot of fun last night having you guys with me, and I hope you had as much fun as I did. I'm just gonna jump right back into it. We got a lot of progress to make today, and so I want to try to get as much in as possible. We have two more of my Casey bags, which I'll call them since they aren't official LEGO bags I covered in the previous thing. So I'll go ahead and just do that, and we'll finish with box 1, and we'll see where we're at. So that should be pretty quick. I think that'll probably take us, little one hiding in there. That'll take us maybe another 45 minutes or so. There we go. Yes, the Wrath of Khan. I don't know if that's really correct. It's more like the Wrath of Minifig, maybe? I'm not sure. Oh, what a doofus. I opened up the wrong bag. Okay, there we go. We're going to just slide those back as if it never happened. And, hey, look at that. It's the bag we're supposed to be on. You know, it's a problem when you look at the instructions and the first piece is not in the set in the bag you just dumped out. So I was looking for this guy, and he was not there. So, also, this is weird. I feel like there's a delay on my hands. Do my hands look like they're matching up with everything else, or is it just my feed? I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me know if that was in sync, because that's going to be kind of weird if it's not. I don't know what I will be able to do about that, but it will be good to know. As we did last time, I'm just going to get some of these bigger pieces out of the way first. Just get them out of the way. Man, you guys really want Lex to sort. I don't know if there's just really not enough room here for that to happen. Okay, so something's wrong with the feed. Let me see if there's anything I can do about that. So that's quick. That's not. I wonder if I move this guy. If there's latency because of how I have this hooked up. Still latency. Not as bad, but let's maybe do this. Oh, that's way better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. Well, nuts. That means I've got to rearrange my windows a little bit because I wanted to actually be able to see myself this time, so that I know where I'm at. Anyway, okay, I think that's good enough. And it's time to start building. Okay. Does that seem like it's in sync? Way better. Yeah, okay. So, I'll tell you, as I start building here, I'll tell you what I did. And for the more technical folks out there, you can in sync, yeah. Fun fact, do you know what the name in sync is? As far as where it came from. It's actually all of the letters in the names of the guys in the band, and I think it was Justin's mom who came up with it, but it's not the letters of the first letter. It's not the first letter of their first names. It's the last letter of all their first names. So you've got Justin, Chris, Joey, Lance, Tin, and JC in sync. Something I bet very few of you knew, or even knew that you wanted to know, or want to know at all in the first place. You're welcome. Oh, looks like we got Ariel back. That's fun. I'm sorry, AV Productions. Look at that. I just outed who that was. Poor form on me. Sorry. Oh, now I know why I had this over here, so that I could advance to the next step. All right. Okay, there we go. What was I talking about? I was going to explain something. Oh, why there was lag. So what I was trying to do, this time was I set up my iPad off to the side, and more technical detail in a minute after we work on this. So this is a real cool little piece here, a little differential thing. So as you can see in step 239, to put it together, you gotta I need to move that up. You can't see me building. I need to go higher. You know what? This is a learning episode, so we're gonna change this. You guys can bear with me. I'm gonna go higher with the camera, because I'm tired of not having my hands in the shots. Ooh, how's that for a nice? Yeah, now we're cooking. The only problem is cuts off half of my instructions, but everything is awesome. Thanks, honey. The fans requested it. Okay, I think we're better sorted. Okay, yeah. Oh, look at that, even better. Higher and wider. Okay, so this guy's really cool. You can see in step 239, you actually have to put it together very carefully. And I'll show you what this accomplishes as soon as I get it in here. This is something that they have in a lot of car sets or vehicle sets, a lot of the Technic sets. It's great because you can see it's like a differential in a car where you can hold, let's say I'm holding this axle in place, turning this one, that one still turns, hold this one in place, this one still turns. Obviously can't hold both in place, or if you're turning it, both of them turn. It's a junk? What are we talking about?
The camera was on junk.
Oh. Okay. The problem is I don't want to annoy people with music. So, as you can see, this is going to go, this will be for the back for the rear wheels, so it'll work like a differential in a car, where if one wheel is slipping, it can still transfer as much power as possible to the wheel that has grip. Learning a lot about cars. Yeah, nobody cares about cars except for me. So, well, that's not true. Brian does, Allie does, my dad does. But they're all tearing down a greenhouse right now.
Right now
And MD Cordy. He was there at least. Oh, I don't know. Maybe he took off. All right. What was I talking about that I kept getting distracted from? Oh, where the delay was coming from. So I was using my iPad, using Sidecar, I think is what we call it, as a secondary display so that I could have my streaming window with my feed off to one side, so that I could actually see what I was doing. Because like last night, I was just doing everything blind, assuming that the cameras were pointed at the right spots. And that seemed like it made it difficult for me to actually see what I was doing and know that I was in the shot when I was doing it. So being able to see what I do is obviously a nice feature for me as the streamer, so I can make sure that I'm giving you guys the best possible shots and content. And so I was using my iPad as a secondary screen. That was something I think we added in the last OS update, where very similar to AirPlay, your iPad just becomes a second monitor, and it works really well. There's low latency when you like move your mouse over there and work on it, and I think the issue simply was we were starting to reach the limit of what the graphics card in my poor little laptop was capable of. So, because I'm driving this is all coming off of my MacBook Pro, and it's driving a 5K monitor at the moment. It's got the feed coming in from my camera on my phone for this stuff. It's using the camera in the display for this, and then having one extra display it was driving, I think, was just a little bit too much for it. So as soon as I ditched the iPad, everything snapped back up into real time, and we were no longer slipping into the future. Question for the viewers, since this has been a real hot topic in the last 4.5 minutes. Would you enjoy it more if there was some music on in the background, or would that make it harder to pay attention, see, hear, anything like that? I know it probably wouldn't matter for the seeing. I don't really see my talking as a major draw for this. It's all about the build. But yay or nay, would you like music on in the background or not? This is a vote. And while it's a dictatorship, I will listen to input. And while I will admit I will do whatever I want, a lot of the time what I want is to make others happy. So knowing what you want will further inform my decisions. Might be distracting. Chris has spoken first, and he's going to trump whatever AV Productions says. Okay. Pulling the audience a little bit more. What do you guys think about the camera angle now? Are we doing better? Any ideas or input for if I should make it even higher, move it around a little? Lex says it's good. Realized last night that the more talking you do, the drier your mouth gets.
Do you have your water?
I have my water. Oh, Lego karaoke. That could be a thing. Let's see here. Not sure what we're building at the moment. Welcome back, Bo James. Is my Brephew watching again? Come on. See, when you have a whole bunch of pieces like this that this fellow's supposed to slip down on top of, it can just be a real pain sometimes. Boom. Got it. None of you believed in me, but I did. Alright. Oh! Welcome back, Taco Cub. Oh. I feel like I'm sitting over this way and I need to turn my camera a skosh. There. That's probably better. Yeah. Okay. Taco Cub texted me after the show last night, and as I had mentioned yesterday, he's a big time streamer, big shot, and he had all sorts of fantastic feedback for me, which I greatly appreciated, on some improvements I could make, angles and all sorts of great things. So hopefully we took care of some of those problems today. Seems like we're getting there. We're using, I don't know if the Paul is out there right now, but his wife has been, has used the phrase recently, building a plane while we're flying it. Is that right?
Yep.
Building a plane while we're flying it. That's kind of what we're doing with this stream right now. As the officially second time I've ever streamed now, second only to last night. Feel like I'm already learning an awful lot about it and how to make it a little bit better as I go. This is purely for Taco Cub, but I went ahead and set up my set up some hotkeys, so if we need to go to commercial break quickly. And we're back. See? Look at that. How great is that? We're never going to do that, but we can. Sorry, I suppose I should say I'm never going to do that again. Because I just did it. Whoops. Oh, see, I still feel like I'm building up here, which you can see me doing in the top screen, but you can't see it down here. So I need to put my hands out further. That'll be better. Oh, somebody just rang our doorbell. There we go. As they say in one of my very favorite musicals, the Wells Fargo wagon is a coming down the street. Okay. Yeah. Whoa! Look at that, Jenny Posey. Thanks for joining the stream. Or watching over Bo James' shoulder, whichever you're doing. I'm going to go ahead and throw back a how you doing for her. Yeah. Shout out for all my Pooty Cuties, Pooty Duties, and Pooty Fruities. If you watch the awesome show on Apple TV Plus, Mythic Quest, that will make sense to you. And if you don't, that's going to sound ridiculous. Okay. Also, one thing I remembered after we were done last night was I shortchanged you guys because I had promised that I would get out my first Technic set to show you guys, because I know you all care about that as much as I do. So don't worry, I haven't forgotten completely, and I will be doing that in a little while. Dinner party. Obviously, Chris Bailey is a fan of Mythic Quest. For the record, for all you Mythic Questers, I think the dinner party joke, dinner party, is my favorite joke from the show. So, okay, here we are. We have, this is going to be, as you can see, we have another brake caliper here. So this is going to be for the back tires. We did the front ones. We did the front ones yesterday, which you can see up here, for the steering. And I was talking about the working in a mirror. I was talking about the brake calipers being a cool little addition, even though they are completely they're completely ornamental. They don't actually function at all. But I find a better place to put this. So you're right, that's a total crotch shot. Maybe we still need to move the camera around a little bit more, but we're not going to do that right now because we've been doing that enough. Okay, that's off to the side. Another brake caliper next to the wheel, purely for aesthetics. But as I had mentioned yesterday, these ones are really cool because of the way the suspension worked, and the steering and all of the independent suspension and stuff that's going on. This one, because it's going to need an axle going through to drive the wheels, it's going to have to be a little bit different, technically speaking. Suppose that's not that technical. But that's what we're working on. And had I known I was going to build two of them that were identical, I would have done it from the very beginning. But I missed that little 2x key over top of step 249, which would have alerted me to that. And so we must go back and build another. Due to the magic of the internet and the time delay of streaming, I'm not sure what Chris Bailey is blessing me for, but I'll take it either way. So I need to check one other thing here. That was much better today. Great. All right.
I don't think you're gonna make your half-hour mark on that bag.
Oh, yeah, that's entirely possible. My wife, you sneezed?
I did.
Wow. I am so in the zone right now, I didn't even hear. Shows you how attentive a husband I am. Thanks for making me look bad, Chris. have this other one done. Got another wheel here. Great. Now we will attach it to this fella.
Courtney has a question for you.
Courtney?
Courtney.
Oh. Do all the Technic cars have this level of mechanical detail? No, they do not, which is one of the reasons why this is by far one of my absolute favorite sets. Oh, and I did this last time where something was backwards. I remember doing this backwards. Something's not right. We're going to hold on to those. Yeah, see, I did that wrong. Is it simply that these ones are on the wrong side? It is. Yep. Yep. Yeah, they flipped it around, and last time I made this set, I did the exact same thing. Okay, so these need to go over here. Not a big problem. Yeah, this Porsche set is pretty hardcore, like Christopher Bailey's saying. There's one other LEGO Technic set that has this level of detail. Shoot. Yeah, I really need to make my camera higher so I can get my hands in there. Because I want to work up here. I need to work down here. There's one more LEGO Technic set that's similar to this Porsche one. That is a Bugatti. Very, very similar kind of a set. The story isn't as good as you're building it, but it also is very, very technical. It just sort of, it builds upon how technical this set was. They made the, whoa, earthquake. They did the Bugatti after they did this Porsche set. And it's also excellent. I just happen to like this one just a hair more. But no, that's a good question, and the reason why this is one of my absolute favorite sets. Okay. We are once again doing one of those things where you got to have an extra set of hands or fingers or something. There we go.
I mean, I'm sitting right here.
Oh, Taco Cup ordered the Batmobile. Excellent. The big Batmobile? This Batmobile? The big fella? Because this one was really cool. Look at you guys. The Batmobile was such a cool build. Just for the nostalgia factor, it did not have the level of technical craziness. It is not a Technic set, so you don't need to worry about that if that was something you were worrying about. It's just really cool. Okay. There we are. Okay, once again, we have some floppy parts, but we'll be fixing that soon enough, because nobody likes floppy parts. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Unless it's a pancake.
Unless it's a pancake. I stand corrected. Yeah, in fact, we were talking about this last night. Chris Bailey was talking about building the other Batmobile set, the Tumbler, and how terrible that was. The 1989 Batmobile that you guys ordered is way not as tough as that Tumbler was, so you should be fine. Okay, so interesting way that this is going to come together. I was talking about these pieces last night being great because they're not a fixed length, and you can put them together and this sort of floats in there, but it has enough to lock it into place. So this is what we're going to use in here. This is going to go, yeah, it's going to go like this. This will be between them, and that way we'll be able to send movement, power to those wheels. Even though the suspension is changing, going up and down, you can see that it's still going to be connected. And you can see here, I was talking about this differential in here before. So as this wheel turns, you can actually see it's turning that on the front. And what makes that really cool is then once we have this one wired up, you'll be able to turn these wheels at independent rates on either side and still see the power, still see it going through. I feel like this should turn a bit more. I'm running out of table. That's better. Yeah, that's way better. Okay. Okay. Here we are. Yeah, this set I would definitely say is a Technic expert level set. The Technic sets are already typically, in my opinion, some of the tougher sets to put together, just because of how technical they are. And this one is very challenging, which is part of the fun. Okay, here we go. That's got to go all the way through. And then as soon as we get this through here, if everybody could remind me to make sure that my stickers are going the right way, because normally you'd put those on after the fact. Oh no, they're already on there. Let's check anyway. Calipers on the right side on that one, calipers on the right side on that one. Great, we're good. So here we go. Isn't that great? The answer is yes. Moving on. The only thing I'm missing with this table that I've started to become very well acquainted to, I have another desk over there, and it's just a nice built-in wooden desk, and doing Legos on that's real nice. Doing it on a card table is convenient, but it's got a little bit of give to it, so when you're trying to push something and have something be totally flat, there's a little bit too much give to make sure that it's perfectly flat. Just something I'll have to think about and maybe might fix in a future stream. Broadcast. Broadcast sounds more official than stream. Okay. We're going to keep working on the suspension parts that I've been talking about way too much. As you can see, that's a very important part of this build because it's a very important part of cars. There we go. How do these attach now? Okay. Yellow doodad out the front. Springy bit connecting to Oh, I'm such a dork. Keep finding new ways to mess things up. These are supposed to be over here. Remarkably, I did both of them wrong, which was pretty amazing. Typically, when I'm going through these sets, not that I have anything to prove here, I don't make this many mistakes. I think that if I had to just start coming up with excuses, I'd probably say it's because I'm kind of angling myself in ways that I don't normally angle, and I'm focused on talking and not just totally 100% focused on the build. Not that it's a problem, because when I make mistakes, that's when we get to really challenge ourselves. After the stream was over last night, my dad let me know that me trying to figure out how to get those pieces back into place that I messed up was probably his favorite part of the build. So, this is a tricky step. As you can see, we're going to take this whole suspension apparatus part that we just built and attach it to the rear end of the car here. And there's a lot of bits that are supposed to go together. And need to make sure we do that right. Upside down. Oh, for Pete's sake. I just can't do anything right. I didn't do that wrong before. Oh my goodness. I just forgot to turn it over. Oh my god. This is just so embarrassing. I'm sure that if any of you were building this at home, you wouldn't be making any of these mistakes, because you'd be paying so much better attention than I'm paying right now. Okay, now we're cooking. Haha, that's, oh, ooh. See how sturdy that is? That's way better than that other garbage. This is clearly the right way to do it. Okay. Alright, calipers toward the inside, this over here. Now you see, there's all these bits that need to go into all these areas over here, and this fella needs to line up with that. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to line up just so right now. Which means you're going to get to see me making some funny faces, because apparently I don't have control over my facial muscles when I'm putting these things together. It's like when you're drawing something or whatever, you stick your tongue out and you have better control over your hands. Don't know why that's the case. There we go. Oh yeah. Nice. Oh yeah. Oh, that's good stuff. So now you can watch. So remember how we had, so we're neutral right now, and this is just freely spinning. If we were to engage drive, when we spin this fella, you can now see all of those gears underneath are doing stuff. And back underneath here. And as we go further, there's just going to be more to it with the selecting of the gears. Select a gear, and you can, when I select the gear here, you'll be able to see the gears, gear ratios changing down there. Oh, there we go. So you can see those changing, and when it's in drive, depending on which ones are selected, these gears either turn slower or faster like it would in a normal car. Okay, I'm done geeking out on the car stuff for now. This is a car build, but you guys are here for the Legos, I think. So, we'll just keep going. Hello. Ooh. Oh. I don't know what this is, but thank you, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Mm. Well, that's going to keep me going until it doesn't. All right. Okay. All right. See, now we got to... What are we doing here? We need to flip her over. And this thing that we just created, we don't need that piece. This guy goes on down here. Ah, okay. So as you can see down here, this is me turning all that engine stuff, since you guys said it's okay. I'm gonna flip on this side. We're gonna click it up into drive. And now, when I turn the engine bit here, you can see it turning those wheels. And because of that differential, if we hold one of these wheels in place, this wheel still turns. Right up there. Whereas if you don't hold it in place, both of them turn. It's... Whew. It's cool stuff. I don't care if you're an engineer or not. Watching gears turn is fun. Mm-hmm. All right. This. Huh? Thank you. Certainly the mechanics are sort of definitely the reason for this Lego set. That is true. Okay, right now. Oh gosh. Nope. Time for my next mistake. There we go. Okay. That one was an easy one to fix. I had an off by 1 issue. There we go. Now, oh yeah. Okay. So, since I'm now sipping on some delicious rum, if anybody from Florida is watching, Siesta Key rum is the best rum in the world. And while I'm not doing this for us, any kind of sponsorships, if they wanted to sponsor the show by, say, sending a few cases of Siesta Key spiced rum, I wouldn't mind giving them another shout out here and there. Maybe we could.
That could be your thing.
What's that?
Drink it while you do it every time.
Drink it while I do. It'll be like Drunk Kitchen, only drunk Legos.
Mm-hmm.
Get the most technical sets that I have that are the hardest to put together. Well, I guess that's what this one might be. And see how far I can get.
Yeah.
In both booze and Lego.
Yeah.
That's a heck of an idea. Talk about fun for the whole family. Oh, you're having enough trouble with this guy right here. Okay. So one of the great things about Legos is sometimes you learn tricks to use Legos as tools for themselves. I'm having a hard time getting this piece to connect to both of these at the same time. And sometimes you can use pieces like this guy to keep them level. Ta-da! Alright, boop, 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 boop. We're still upside down. This one is still up. This piece is meant to go over that one. There we go. Rum and Barracuda Bay. Oh, that's a great idea, Mike. I should, yeah. So Lego just came out with a Lego Ideas set that is for old time Lego enjoyers, such as myself and Mr. Cordy out there. They have a set called Pirates of Barracuda Bay, where you're building a pirate ship that was an old set, but it has run ashore, and the box, it looks like an old Lego box, and the set is just ripe with nostalgia. MD Cordy got his set before I got mine, and he's been telling me how great the build is, and he didn't want to spoil any of it for me, and I haven't built it yet, so I need to get on that. But I think drinking some rum while I build my pirates is the exact right way to build that set. So excellent, excellent suggestion. There we go. Okay, and we're starting to get a sense for the scale of this thing, the size of it. You can see it's a pretty substantial set. You have a pretty decent.
FYI, you're at 45 minutes on that bag.
Oh, yeah, but we were working on technical issues, so I don't think we can count the full 45 minutes on this bag. We were moving cameras and.
Well, you're not done yet either.
I have 4 pieces left to go. Last step. Flip it back over. Boop. And see where these ones are supposed to go. We're gonna lock these pieces together delicately. There we are. With all the talking I was doing, I can't remember if I said this out loud or to you when you could hear me. Did you post something on Facebook?
Yes.
Thank you.
And you didn't ask.
Oh,
I did.
thank you. And what about to our guild folk?
No, I did not.
Okay.
But I can.
Okay, that bag's done. We have 1 bag left. And then our base platform will be ready to go. It looks like in this one. See, by TV magic, this bag's already open, which you might believe if you weren't here when I accidentally opened it earlier. One thing that the experienced Technic Lego builders will notice immediately that this bag has in it are a bunch of these cylinder blocks for pistons. So we're actually going to have functioning pistons. Well, not really functioning pistons. We're not going to be, there's going to be no actual combustion happening. Man, that would be cool. Get some really like, you wouldn't be able to use Lego like plastic, but if if Lego made like some steel pieces that you could put, I guess at that point it really wouldn't be any different than just building the thing like a real car. I don't know. Rambling, talking to myself. That's normal. Okay, you enjoy your nap, Chris Bailey. When you come back, I'll have more set to show you. Go. There we go. As with many other parts of this set, you start out building some of these things and you don't quite know what they're going to be for at first, but just keep going and eventually it'll sort itself out. Oh yeah, here we go. Engine time. And as I mentioned before too, for some other parts of this build, having the cylinders and pistons is not new by any stretch of the imagination. For Lego sets or Technic sets, this one certainly isn't very remarkable, aside from the fact, like a good Porsche, this one is going to end up being boxer engine, not a V or not an inline. So just positioning the right way for a proper Porsche. One of the little Easter eggs for somebody building this. This part that I'm doing right here is actually one of my least favorite parts when building engines, is actually putting all these rods together and kind of have to hold it all together until it's all in one big complete engine bit there, and it's kind of annoying. Okay. There we go. And one more over here. There we go. And now this, I need to thread through into here. Like so. Hopefully that'll stay in there for now until I can get the other side done. This is a pretty standard arrangement for not the physical orientation of it, but just the way this engine's working here. This is pretty standard for Lego Technic sets, but I built a set recently that actually had what's the word I'm looking for? Instead of using this rod with the pistons going through, it had a cam shaft that went underneath a bunch of other rods, but as the camshaft spun, it popped the cylinders up and down, and it was not at all actually functional, aside from when you moved the car like this one, it spun spun some shaft in the car, and which was turning the cams, and so for a car nerd, once again, it was a kind of a neat way of doing things. Okay, there we go. Now have our boxer engine. Put a couple more pieces on here, and then I can hold it up and show you what it's doing. There. 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 So now, as the engine spins, you can see the pistons going in and out on either side, like a proper Porsche. Proper Porsche engine. There we are. Those, need a couple of those, a whole bunch of those. All right. Once again, I wish I had a hard surface, but we'll do the best we can with what we got. Go. So someone asked me on my show yesterday, last night, what my favorite build was, or what my favorite set was. I'm curious for anybody that's still out there watching what their favorite set is. I'm feeling Cordy might still be out there. I'm going to put that down there though, because this is sweating on the table. We don't want that. Coaster? Nah, I'm fine. Just put it on the carpet. Okay. Alright, so our engine is going to go back here. Once again, trying to stay true to the way Porsches work. 911s have been a rear engine car forever, which means that the engine sits behind the rear axle, and you can see where the engine is mounted back here. Here's the rear axle, front of car that way, engine in the back. So this will be spinning back here. Momentarily we'll have this geared up so that when the wheels are spinning, the engine will be spinning too. Oh, I already did that.
Cordy said he had to stop watching because he wants one of those sets now.
Oh. Did he text you?
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't hear my question?
I think so.
Okay. Apparently we lost Mr. MD Cordy there because it made him crave Legos, which is certainly something that I can appreciate. But, like some of you did last night, this is an excellent motivator to go out and buy more Legos for yourself. It's one of the great things about Legos. There's so many sets. You can always buy more. Yeah, one of the bummers here is, discussing this last night with Lex, was that on Twitch you can actually see a list of who is currently watching, and I wish I could see a list of who's out there, because a lot of you are talking during the stream, which is fun, and I certainly don't expect everybody to be doing that. It would just be nice to know who's out there, or if there's even anybody still out there. To not get too close to copyright infringement on Pink Floyd. Getting close to the...
LEGO should sponsor you. I mean, at this point, you've already sold like 3 sets.
Getting close. We're working on the rear end of this thing right now. Almost done with box 1. Sometimes the order that they have you put things together in makes sense and is predictable because it's the way they always have you do it. But sometimes it's harder to put things together in the order that they say. If you knew what they were going to have you do, the experienced Lego builder might think, nah, that's the hard way to do it. I'm going to do it this other way. And I will admit that every once in a while a set comes along, usually by the second time I'm building it, where I'll remember how it happened the first time and I'll think, no, I'm smarter than that, and I make it a little bit easier on myself the second time. What's making me think about that right now is sometimes when you have these sorts of things where you have these sorts of pieces, and it's always harder to put an axle through them when it's the plus as opposed to the circle, and sometimes they have you put it through multiple pieces, and anyway, you pick up tricks, and it's easier or harder sometimes, and some of you will know what I'm talking about, and some of you will just take my word for it. Here we are. Okay, what are we doing? This one needs to go up here. This one needs to go over here. If I didn't know any better, I'd say we're working on some headers for our engine or something right now. See, there we go. There we go. Flip it over. And we finish it off with a piece that I've already put the sticker on. Woo! Alright, we got things like, I don't know, probably an air intake. That's probably what that's supposed to be. And I'm guessing this is supposed to be a turbo. If I had to guess. All of this engine is all purely cosmetic. Unfortunately, but at least it's there, I guess. There we are. And this just goes right on top. Boop. Boop. Runaway pieces. This one is supposed to go down here. Ran away. Just finishing this guy up here. Last few pieces of the bag and then we'll be done. Gotta flip it over again. And these will hold lots of things together. There we go. There we go. Not perfectly rigid yet, but as you can see now, so if we spin this, kind of covered it up, you can't really see it. Theoretically, there's that engine under there, and is there an angle where you could see the pistons at all anymore? Well, you could see from the top. So the engine's not spinning at all. If I put it in drive, now, ooh, now if you spin it, oh, it must be in too high of a gear. Ooh, the engine bits are spinning now. Let's go to a different gear. There we go, make it easier. There we go. Cool. Man, all those mechanics are working, which is great. There we go. Beautiful. All right, we are done with box one, which means it's time for me to have a sip of my LEGO juice. And I think it's time to move on to box two. If we go forward here, I'll leave that up on the screen. You can't read it, but I can read it to you, or I can do this. So, step 2, there you go. During production of the real 911 GT3 RS, there's a stage called the marriage, where the drivetrain is connected to the body of the car. In this box, you will build the floor plan of the 911 GT3 RS, complete with seats and roll cage, before placing it over the drivetrain in a similar way to the production of the real 911 GT3 RS. So we have our platform here. We're going to build the shell of the body now, and at the very end of this box, we'll marry the two together, just like they do for a real Porsche. And I need to meticulously resize this once again. There we go. There we go. All right. See, look at that nice German man working on the marriage. Actually, while I get the new box out, you can go ahead and take a peek at him. Okay, so here we are, box 2. Box 2. There we go. I'm gonna get myself a little bit organized here real quick. By the way, if there's anybody out there watching, I haven't messed around with this at all myself, so I don't know how it works. But if you're watching and you can't figure out how to comment on YouTube or whatever, feel free to shoot Lex a text, and she can relay things over to me if there's anything that you wanted to ask or just say hi. Admittedly, I don't know how all of that works myself. And that's something I should have probably played around with ahead of time. But I didn't. And it's on my to-do list for next time. Alright. 2:30, we've been going for an hour and a half. Making good time. There we go. One thing about the Technic sets as well is a lot of the time I've been talking about how you just have to build and trust that it's going to turn out right, because you don't really know what you're working on until you have enough of it that it can kind of come together. And you know, with this fella, there were definitely a bunch of pieces that were building by themselves, and you know, in it isolated the way they were, no clue how they would come together. And then you put them together and it's like, oh, okay, well, I can see how that works now. That's awesome. Technic sets are pretty... That's a normal thing with Technic sets. And I have a feeling that is probably not as interesting to watch unless you really care about all of the gearing and stuff. Whereas I have a feeling in the future, if I'm doing, say, the Death Star or the Barracuda Bay set, those sorts of sets, those will be more immediately interesting, because as you're building it, you're actually seeing pieces of a scene come together. You're seeing little minifigs, and you're seeing rooms, and it makes more sense more quickly, and it's not all technical like this. So this one is one that I'm really building for me. The next one I'll build for you guys. I don't know if Bodie is still out there watching, but I know Bo James has requested the Death Star and the Millennium Falcon, so I can't really build both of them at the same time. So we're gonna have to come to a decision on that. this piece right now, for example, feels like it's... First I was thinking it was a chair, but it's definitely too big for that. So this might be, I don't know, part of the start of the shell of the body or something. We'll find out. There we go. All right, and now we turn it thus, and we grab a whole bunch of these little guys, and now because I have it bigger, I can actually see the number, and that's a 6, not a 5. Who knew how important it was when following LEGO instructions to actually be able to see said instructions? Apparently that's a big part of building that I had overlooked last night. Yeah, last night had a couple of big mistakes. Actually, I was going to say I had a couple of big mistakes today, but one mistake was thinking there was a mistake and correcting it, and then the second mistake was realizing that I hadn't actually made the mistake and had to correct the correction I had made. So both of those, I'm going to say this is a case of 2 wrongs do make a right, and we're going to call that 0 mistakes so far today, because this is my stream and I can do whatever I want, including make up rules about what are mistakes and what are not. Okay, so how are you going to attach this? Are you snacking in there?
You won't like it.
Oh, is it a pickle?
No. Frozen peas. There was something you liked and I brought it to you. And also I didn't think you wanted to eat on stream.
No, that's smart. As always, you're very thoughtful. Oh no.
And I got these for you because I thought they'd be quieter.
You're fine. Okay. Here we go. So let's talk about what I was referring to as Casey bags. So, recap. Most big sets, doesn't even need to be that big. Most sets now come with all of the pieces sorted into numbered bags to make building a little less daunting, because some of the larger sets especially, you open up the bags and you look at it and you're like, holy cow, I don't even know what to do all of these things because there's too many. Where do I start? And because of the handle on my tripod, I can't see any of those. Okay. So most sets come all divvied up like that. For whatever reason, I don't know how they choose which ones to do that with or which ones not to. But most modern sets now come that way because it's clearly the more elegant solution. It's the gentlemanly way to build Legos. For some reason, some sets don't come divvied up like that, which is really frustrating because some sets have a lot of pieces. And so when I'm taking my sets back apart, the sets that don't come that way, I do future Casey, a solid, and when I'm taking the sets apart, I do it in reverse, and then I number them based off of page number. If you're doing this, don't do it based off of step number, because as you can see on page 235, we're both on step 335 with 1, 2, 3, 4 subset. The step numbers are a bad way to do this because they're not consistent across all the pages, because sometimes you have sub build category steps, and use page numbers. But one more thing about that, when I'm doing it, I try to logically group everything in ways such that when I'm putting them back together again, this will finish off a section of this. They're not purely arbitrarily chosen numbers. I look through the I look through the instructions and try to find where the logical breaking points are, so that even though LEGO didn't do a good job of breaking it all up, I try to do that so that future Casey can enjoy the set more and know when we're at good logical breaking points. Which I suppose is just a very long way of saying I have a little bit of OCD. I've been doing... What are you laughing at? Okay. I've been doing this a long time. I care a lot about LEGO. And I have opinions about the proper way to do things. If anybody out there at LEGO actually ever watches this, which I can't imagine would happen, but if they do, I am available for consultations. Be happy to tell you what you're doing wrong and right. Okay. We're flying through this bag. Okay, it's talking about things moving. Oh, there we go. Yep, these come up and these go in. This is another thing. A lot of the times in these Technic sets too, they'll have you put a piece in like this, which could theoretically go all the way in, will end up going all the way through, but they will very specifically have you only put it this far, so that when you put it together at some point, like on this step, they want you to come up like this and then push it through. So you kind of always have to be paying attention for that when you're putting these together, that you're not always supposed to put them together completely. Put them together kind of close. There we go. Click. Man, there's just such a satisfying snapping sound that LEGO has sometimes when you know that it's falling into place, it's clicking into place perfectly. It's like no matter what's going on in the world, this one thing is as right as it can be. Going to be the last pieces of this bag. Ooh, there's another snap. Oh, you heard it. This one should be right about there. Okay, and for the final step, there we go. Let's do the same thing once again in reverse. Hopefully pretty soon we'll know what we're building. So once again, at this point, it's kind of hard to tell what part this is. But we will know eventually. Patience. We'll get there, I promise. And I swear, even if you don't watch the whole thing, you'll understand when we get to the end. Okay, we're on the next bag. Let's open that up. Go. Next bag. Next bag means it's time to have a little bit more Lego juice. Delicious Lego building fuel. Okay. Let's get some of these out of the way. Kind of quasi sorting as we go. There we are. So let's get some of these out of the way. Boom, boom, boom. Go. I've also found that people who build a lot of Lego sets, everybody seems to have different patterns they like to follow when they're sorting their pieces ahead of time. I don't think one is necessarily right over the other. I just think it's interesting that something so simple that, so many people can do so many different ways and have everything turn out okay. I need to, camera angle's much better for you guys, but it makes it harder for me to see certain steps that are up in the corner, so I'm gonna have to play around with that before the next one. There we go. Okay. There we go. Also, one of the things that I had done recently, I was talking last night about my old car, my GTR. Lego had recently, okay, we can see what we're building. I think this is going to be the rear end of the car, because this looks like it's going to be rear bumper based on this step. Put that in there. What was I talking about? GTR. So recently, it was not the size of a set that I was hoping to see, but LEGO did release a Nismo GTR Speed Champions set. Speed Champions is one of their lines that showcases brand name vehicles, which are usually pretty darn cool. It's one of the series that I actually don't buy a whole lot of out of, because I try to artificially limit which sets I get. I like to have rules for the sets that I get so that I know which sets that I need and which sets that I can pass on, because if I didn't have rules, I might overindulge and buy too many Lego sets. And if you can see behind me, there's already enough Lego sets that I feel the need to get compulsively. So I don't get all the Speed Champion sets, but it's a neat line that Lego has for lots of different types of cars. And recently they came out with a Nismo edition Lego set. Which I have it right there. For a GTR, which, like I said, it wasn't the awesome, cool, big Technic GTR set that I would have loved to have seen, but it was something. So after I built it, as you could see when I held up that box just now, the set itself was a white set. My old car was a beautiful black, just black GTR, and so something that I did at the time that was a lot of fun was I ended up buying a second set, and then I went on what's the name of that site? Bricklink. In the back of every set, or rather, in the back of every instruction book with Legos, in the back of all Lego instruction sets, they have a parts list, and every single Lego part has a specific part number. Believe it or not, every single, like, this part has a specific number, and they're all serial number cataloged, like whatever, and you can look up what parts are in it. And so what I did was I went to this site Bricklink, where you can buy individual Lego parts from people that are selling Lego parts, and you can buy specific pieces. So I went and I looked at the parts list in the back of the GTR instruction manual, and I went onto the site, and all of the parts that were white or red, which were the pieces that were the outer bits of the car, I found them all, and then I switched them all to black, and then I bought black parts to replace all of the white and red parts in the set, so that I could go and build a second GTR and have it look exactly like mine. And it all actually worked out pretty perfectly, aside from the unexpected collision I had with the Prius. And timing being what it was, I ordered the parts before they had arrived. The Prius destroyed my real GTR. The parts arrived, and I went ahead and built it anyway as a bit of a memorial for my old car. So the Lego version of my car never got to actually meet the real version of my car because it was already gone. Kind of sad. Okay, where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Almost done with this step. Looks like we're building the rear bumper here, perhaps. There we go. And how does it attach, you might ask? I don't know. Let's see here. Why? There. No. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I was tooting my horn too early. I made a mistake. But this one's a little easy mistake to correct. One piece was one too far over. Almost like it isn't even a mistake, but just something to see if my viewers are paying attention. Did you notice? Anyone?
There's only two of us.
Oh, well, that's probably you and me. I don't think there's anybody there. Which means I'm wasting all of these awesome stories that nobody's paying attention to until they go back and they watch this in the future because they're sad that they missed all of this awesome, intense action. There we go. There we go.
You can tell me your stories.
Thank you. You have to listen to my stories all the time already anyway.
I don't have to. I choose to.
Okay. We do another one where you gotta have an extra hand to get something in the... There we go. Got it. It all worked out. Huzzah. And this guy here. There we go. Looks like this might end up being a more substantial part of the bumper. Possibly. We'll find out. Might have an air dam in there, maybe. Still too early. I said there might be an air dam in here, maybe. A little too early to tell. There we go. And there we go. All right. What am I missing? Missing one of these. There we are. Okay, this one's got to come up from the bottom. There we go. And there we are. It's really neat seeing the way all of these pieces come together. It's the sort of thing that unless you've actually built one of these sets, it's kind of hard to appreciate the density of all of these pieces. Like just looking at this, this is gonna be a very simple part. Like it doesn't have the complexity of all the gearing that we've already been looking at. But even still, just to get the correct shapes and the structure, the rigidity that we need, all of that, they do such a good job of building that. Instructions are behind the camera once again. See, this is another case where I was talking about how this piece, I don't want you to push it all the way through yet because it's going to attach to something else later. There we go. Alright, this fella needs to attach up here. Probably going to do the exact same thing now and build the other side. Looks like it. So we start with this one. Yeah, recently there was a great show that just started on, I think it was on Fox, called LEGO Masters. And it's now run its course for the first season. But it was just mind-blowingly impressive seeing the things that people came up with. They created on the spot on this show. And it's certainly, I find building Legos to be a very therapeutic exercise. I like having instructions and just following along and putting the pieces together in the order that somebody told me to put them together in. That's real nice for me. It just kind of lets me zen out. It's real peaceful. So I'm not the type of builder that would excel on a show like that where you just, the sky's the limit. There's no instructions. You just grab pieces and you build. It is a type of building that I can appreciate, but it is beyond me. But as a Lego enthusiast, it was such a cool show to watch because seeing the ideas that these people come up with and ultimately what they create, it's just so cool. So if you haven't watched it and you have something like Hulu, I completely recommend it. Oops. Look at me jumping the gun. That's not supposed to go there yet. Okay. Two of those, and one of those, and one of those. Here we are. tail end. Oh! Look at that. My mom has joined. Hello, Mother. Just to recap where we're at right now, we have finished off the base platform for the car. And right now we're working on the chassis, which will go over top of the base. We're in box 2 right now. The purpose of box 2 is building all of that, building the shell of the car. And once we finish building the shell of the car, we will combine it with the base down there. And that is very similar to the build process that Porsche normally follows. If they hadn't bent the rules, what rules are we talking about here?
Means the not taking out the other group, keeping 3 instead of 2.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's a good point. They probably... Oops. Nope, that's whatever I did was wrong. There we go. I have a feeling... conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat theory. I have a feeling that they wanted to give the win to the married couple, and so because that baby was coming, and so on that last show, or on the second to last show, they came up with that switcheroo to keep all 3 contestants on the show. I just mean to keep them around. Okay. Let's keep going. So how's the greenhouse teardown going? Is it all gone? I'm sure you have lots of pictures and we'll send them to me once I'm done building. Or you could even send them to me now, I just can't look at them. Okay, this piece here has this section has lots of these long pieces, which means we're probably going to be doing the length of the car. So we should see some real, using all these big pieces, we should see some real progress quickly, which is, I'm sure, way more exciting for you guys watching at home. I had not really put too much thought into what would be a thrill-a-minute build to watch. It was more of a what would be a technically interesting build to watch, which I mentioned earlier as being something that was a little more self-indulgent because I love this set. And so I wanted to do it. And I think in the future, if I do more of these sets, or more videos, more streams, I'll probably try to do sets that are more interesting to watch throughout the build process. Oh, still working on it. Okay, very good. Well, Dad loves having a project to work on. They're certainly piling up around here for him. Once we're done sheltering in place, I'm going to need to borrow them for a while. So what's the plan for the greenhouse area once you have it? I assume you're just removing the building completely. Are you going to put a shed there? Is that going to be where Dad can park his truck? What's the goal? Or do you guys not know yet and you're just trying to get rid of the shed because it needs to go and then you'll figure it out? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Any more beverage?
You know, I sure could. Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing? Something else?
Same thing would be perfect. Thank you. Yeah, it's getting warm up here too. It's currently 83 degrees outside today, right now. Our AC is running. Hopefully they've gotten the roof off of the greenhouse at least, so that they're not just cooking inside of it, because that would be terrible. Okay, this guy's gonna go on here. We're gonna run out of room. Ooh, yummy. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna move this off to the side so we can keep this up here because we're running out of room. I know as a viewer at home right now, it looks like I have this expansive table in front of me. But if I were to turn the camera around, you'd see just how much of the table is actually taken up with computer and camera gear. Honestly, when I first started coming up with the idea of streaming a build like this, I thought I would just do it in the area that I've been building over on my desk. And just like point the camera down kind of a thing. But the more excited I got about doing this, the more I thought that I should take it more seriously and have a proper build space. And so I kind of moved my whole setup into my LEGO studio. And here we are. And just like before, I can't see behind my camera right now. There we go. So I can't see where these are supposed to go. There we are. There we go. Yeah. You can see this is definitely turning into a big shell of some kind. There and there. So, Mom, is Alex out there helping? Or is he being more of a foreman for the work that Dad's doing? Alright, let's see where this guy goes. Okay. Alright. Not quite sturdy yet. A lot of the times with these Technic sets, you'll be building them and they won't be terribly sturdy until you get to the end, and then you put a final piece in and it locks everything together, and then they are absolutely solid. Go. We have not yet reached that point. Grandpa was a bit of a genius, an evil genius with his PVC pipe. One of the things that I used to love when I was a kid, when I was going to visit my grandparents, was my grandpa had tons and tons of PVC pipe from all of the projects. They had just a massive yard, and so he had lots of PVC pipe. And one of the fun things that we would do, this is not going to come as much of a shock to you watching me build these Legos, he would pull out all of the PVC pipe in the yard, and he would just basically dump a big pile of PVC down for the kids to play with. And so you can grab the PVC pipe and you hook a hose up to one end, and we basically just built mazes with the PVC. It's kind of like a PVC pipe Lego set, and so we would just play with PVC pipe, and it was really nice during the summer when it was hot, because Sacramento summers are hot, and you could be outside with the water on and playing with PVC pipe, and it was a lot of fun. Saying Grandpa's PVC collection is still there for playing with. Maybe one of these days when you have a kid over, you should throw them in the backyard and pull out the PVC pipe and say, go for it. I don't remember how old I was when we first started doing that. I wonder if Owen could or would enjoy that. Okay, we're still getting, this structure just keeps getting bigger. But we're basically building the whole shell that's going to slip down on top of the big old Porsche platform here, so it's just going to keep getting bigger. Yes, Bo James, it's very complicated. Mentioned this a couple of times here, but I've come to realize that this is perhaps not the most exciting set that I could have chosen for a first build. Exciting for the people who love the technical mechanical stuff. Probably a little boring for most of the other people out there. So I've kind of already decided that when I go to build another set after this, I'll do something that's a little bit more interesting throughout the process, like the Millennium Falcon and the Death Star. As you're building those, there's like rooms and scenes, and you can see. Yeah, the Death Star would be a very fun set to watch, I think, because you have a lot more to see along the way. This is just a sea of pieces that you can't really even tell what it is, and then at the end it all just sort of comes together. So building the Death Star, I think, would be a lot more fun for people to watch as opposed to this one, which will look really cool when it's done. Oops. This has to attach to here. So yeah, we'll do the Death Star next. There. Decision made. I talked it over with the council. We decided. Magic Kingdom Castle. That one's also a lot of fun to build. You got to choose. You gotta can't build more than one set at a time. So I'm definitely open to audience suggestions at this point. So if you have any special requests, I would love to hear them. Okay. This one. Man, I really need to figure out a better way to angle my camera so that I'm not constantly having to look around it here. Okay. Well, this is just keep getting bigger. Don't know where we're going with it yet. Bo votes Disneyland Castle. Okay, well that's one vote for the Disneyland Castle. No votes for anything else. So at the moment, Disneyland Castle is in the lead with one vote. Does it make a difference that that's the only actual other video I have up on my CaseyBuilds site right now is when I was putting that one together? Because at this point that would just mean that we have the archival footage of these live builds of this, and then the time lapse of the Disney Castle, and then a live build of the Disney Castle. I'm not saying I disagree and that I don't want to do it. I'm genuinely asking if that's an issue. Gotta give the people what they want. I just want to know what the people want. There it is. Ooh. As these steps become more complicated, it's more important to actually lay out the pieces ahead of time to make sure that you don't miss any. Central perk. Yeah, that's a good suggestion too. I don't know. Alex might have had enough time distance shielding at this point to be okay with enjoying Friends again. I'm not sure. But I also haven't built that set yet, and definitely not opposed to it either. All good ideas. But before we get into this Porsche, though, we're gonna need to have one final thing. So we've got one vote for the Disneyland Castle from Bodie, and one set for Central Perk from Bodie's dad. There we go. That satisfying snap of it all coming together, as I mentioned before. Okay, this one and this one need to be joined thusly. Okay. There we go. Coming together. Oh no. Where'd you go, little piece? Where'd you go? Every once in a while you have a Lego explosion. You'd think this one would be easier to find considering it's blue and my carpet is white. Rug.
You need help?
Nope, found it. It was hiding next to the leg. There we go. All right. Oh, Voltron. Yeah. That one was a really cool one to build. Man, so many good... It's Voltron. Voltron's up there. Maybe I should make a poll. I don't know where I would do that. I feel like asking people in the stream right here just to tell me what they want to see is the fairest thing to do, because if you're here, I care about you being here over the opinions of others that are not. Okay. Lots of bits coming together. There we go. Starting to have more. We need some structural rigidity, and I think after this next, when we get to the end of this set right here, at the end of this bag, we'll be there. So, I'm guessing we're about 15 minutes out from this thing being a little more solid. All right, where are we going? So we were talking a little bit earlier about how warm it is up in Sacramento right now. Curious, what's the weather? What's the coastal weather like out there? Coastal viewers. Inland here where I am, it's a little on the warmer side. Currently 85 out there, which is a little warmer than I'd like. But I bet everything would feel just about perfect on the coast. Okay. Couple of those, one of these, and one of those. Okay. Ugh, 90 in sack. It's too warm. Too much.
Need a fan?
No, 90 in sack.
Oh.
Yeah, that's gross. Too hot for me. Certainly too hot to be tearing down a greenhouse right now. Cooking. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh. That's beautiful, Bo James. 65 and sunny.
Jeez.
Is that house across the street from you still up for sale? We're getting close to having a big structure here. I can figure out how to put these together. All right, that looks like that goes about there. He is in showering. Oh, good. For anybody that missed it earlier, my dad's been outside tearing down a greenhouse today up in that 90-degree weather, which is loco. And my brother. Credit where credit's due. Okay, so we're going to put all this together, and all of a sudden, this is going to look a whole lot more like a car chassis. Be an exciting thing to see. All right, there's that. And okay, there we go. So all sold. All right. So if I was guessing here, looks like we've got a rear engine cover back here. Maybe this would be the front, or it could be completely turned around. This could be the back. Still hard to tell which way is front, which way is back. But on to the next bag and we'll find out. Bo James, I'm still holding out for that one box that's down around the corner from you. That had that piano in the window whenever we would drive by it. And now that I actually have a piano, that would be just about perfect. Though honestly, actually, having Chipotle just a little bit out of reach. I think the closest Chipotle was about 10 miles away. That created difficulties back when we were.
Is that the worst thing about Pacifica?
Yeah. Okay, where are we at? We need an 11 piece. There we go. Nope. All right. These are not Casey specials. We are currently having just good old-fashioned rum and coke. We're out of the fruit juice.
No, we still have some. I just hadn't had rum and coke in a long time.
I lied. We're not out of the fruit juice. We're just having rum and coke. Oh! Welcome back to the stream there, Brian. We're just talking about...
A little ahead of mine.
What's that?
I think yours is a little ahead of mine.
That would be Siesta Key rum, the only rum worth having. So we're getting toward the end of box 2, actually. Box 2 went a lot faster than box 1. Box 1 was absolutely the longest technical part of the whole set. Because of all of the fancy work and engineering bits that we've all been enjoying watching on display. Right now we set box 1 aside. We have box 2, which is all about building the shell that's going to sit over top. And then once we're at the end of box 2, we'll marry the two together. So that's where we're at, and we're getting toward the end of box 2 here, so we're not too far off from getting to see all of this come together. There's still plenty more to build after that, but we're getting to more interesting places here. There's certainly a few runs in this one where you got a whole lot you guys just got to get through, and there's not a whole lot going on to make it terribly exciting, other than knowing that it will be eventually. So we're getting there. Oh, and let's make sure this one has a sticker on it, that I use the right sticker. Mobile 1. Oh, I think Ginny Posey has the right idea. Because if there's something that is the right thing to do during all of this isolation, it's definitely a little day drinking. So we've already established that it's too hot in the South Bay. It's lovely in the coastal Bay Area regions. How is it? Oh, and it's blistering hot up in the Sacramento area. How are things in the in wine country? Lovely day, or are you just sitting underneath your AC vent like I am? It's right there. Seems like it's a perfect time to go get yourself a beverage there, Mama. And there we go. Get a couple of these guys. One of these. What are we working on right now? I haven't really had a whole lot of good stuff to show off because it's just a whole lot of building the frame out right now, which is unfortunately not the most exciting thing. These tubes are annoying. They normally they have you fit them over top of these connector bits like that, and to make me look like I'm a crazy liar, those ones just worked. But normally it's a pain in the tuchus to try to get that on there, and I hate them. And for some reason they keep using them in sets because visually they can satisfy a lot of needs. But I'm glad that was easy. Yeah, I'll do a piano stream. Oh, see, I'm gonna interrupt myself. See, now we gotta, if you look at step 466, you gotta connect these dinguses down over here to these bits, and it's not gonna be fun. Ooh, Moscow mules. Do you have them in the proper Moscow Mule cup? The the proper copper mug. So, question out. Proper copper mug. Also, yeah, I will do some piano streaming one of these nights. I was interested in doing this build primarily because I really wanted to have this sitting next to me on my desk because I was missing having a car next to me. But yeah, we'll do a piano stream one of these nights too. Well, obviously it's supposed to be in a proper mug. I was wondering if it actually was in the proper copper mug. Primarily because if it wasn't, it was going to give me an opportunity to tell you my wonderful name for a Moscow Mule that's not made in a copper mug. I'm going to give you all a minute to think about what a good name would be for a Moscow Mule not in a copper mug, and then I will share with you my name for it. In the meantime, I will answer Bo James' question. I'm using something called OBS to do to do all of my streaming here, at the recommendation of Taco Cub, my setup for this is I'm using the built-in monitor webcam for my face, and then I have my iPhone tethered to my computer, and so with that I am able to I have an app on my iPhone, and I have my iPhone in Do Not Disturb mode, so nothing's popping up on it. But basically, I'm using a live video feed from my iPhone, video capture, coming through, and that's what's doing my big video here. So picture in picture is built-in monitor camera. Video feed here is coming from iPhone camera. Being tethered, and with an app that's running currently. The app is, I don't remember the name of the app, but it basically just turns the entire screen of your phone into a camera. So we're actually just seeing a live view of my phone, the app whatever on my phone, and I just happen to have an app up on my phone that is a full screen camera view. So that's how we're doing that. And earlier at the I haven't forgotten to tell you what my name is for a improperly receptacled Moscow Mule. I'm still letting you to mule that over a little. Was that a terrible joke? Anyway, I'll tell you what my name is as soon as I get to the end of this other bit. So at the beginning of my stream today, if you weren't watching yet, the phone camera had a rather noticeable delay, and it was because all of this I'm driving. I have an external monitor with the camera feed from the monitor. I've got my iPhone plugged in, and all of this stuff is crunching the stream that's going out. I was using my iPad Pro as I was using the sidecar feature and had it as a second display that I was trying to use just to give myself a little bit more desktop real estate, and I was going to have my feed up over there. But I think that was maxing out the graphics card in the laptop just a little bit too hard. And so when I immediately, upon disconnecting the sidecar feature and using the iPad Pro as a second display, the delay was instantly gone. So I think it was just a little bit too much for it to be able to accomplish all of that at once. So, okay, nobody's offered any ideas for what they think my creative name is for a Moscow Mule that doesn't come in a copper mug. So I'm just going to tell you, I call it a half-ass. So, Das Vidanya. Uh-oh. Which way was this going? This is going this way. Yep. Okay. Back in business. Das Vidanya Donkey would be another good name. Okay, here we go. I've complained about this already a couple of times, but with my camera, particularly tripod placement, every once in a while I get a couple of steps of instruction that are behind my tripod, and so then I have to look in there. I liked our names better. The Das Vidanya Donkey. More of these little crappy tubes. All right. See? Now I'm having trouble. Get on there. I don't like you. Oh, they're terrible. Got it. Okay, and this connects here. And then these terrible things connect down here. There we go. All right. Attach this to the wahia. There we go. Here we are. Getting closer. Wherever those are. Back there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I have a feeling, I'm thinking that we'll probably, it's almost 4 o'clock. There's only one more tiny little bag after this one. I think we'll finish off box 2 and then be done with the stream. Done with the stream for a bit. Let people take breaks and go have dinner and all of those things. Go. We're starting to have an impressive pile of Lego sitting in front of us here too, which is fun. How's Henry Edward Posley doing out there today? I don't know if he's still watching. There we go. Ooh, yeah, okay. Now we're starting to... He said my name. Great. Yeah, we're starting to get to some of the interesting structural rigidity bits. So this step is interesting. It's always interesting when they give you a set at a different angle than you're used to. So this one needs to... oh boy. I don't remember how this works. And then the sprinklers, very nice. This one's going to go through here. And I'm not sure what it's supposed to connect to on the bottom side. Put up there. Okay. So this is going to make something of an X. Oh, nope. I was connecting it to the wrong one. That's the problem. Oh. Sheesh. Okay, so this guy needs to be connected. This goes down here. This goes through. Oh. Okay. 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 There it is. All right. So this one needs to be down here and connect to this guy. Every good engineer knows if you want something to be strong, triangles. Triangles, triangles, triangles. Okay, so that was tricky, but we got a triangle in there. Starting to hold this thing together, and we're about to have another one. Going in the opposite direction. So this one needs to... doesn't connect to anything on the bottom side yet, but it just goes in there. This comes through here. And now we're going to have something go through both of them. Both. There we go. Haha. Ooh. That's solid. So that was actually a really funny gag in something that my brother and I used to watch called Red versus Blue. They were talking about the word both and how the whole premise of the joke revolved around the way people pronounce the word. And in the show, they were making fun of somebody for saying both as though the word had an L in it. Both. Which is not an uncommon way to say both. 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 Some people say both. Some people say both. Anyway. Just a funny observation. Alright, the last step of the bag, and then we'll be on the last one, and we'll be calling it a day. Or we're taking a break. I don't know, it's hard to gauge the room right now. I were to come back and after in the evening and keep going, would that be something that people would be interested in, or is that too much Lego all at once? Like coming back around, say 7 o'clock-ish. Do some more night build. Y'all think that over. Oh, here we go. See? Exciting step time. Oh, Brian. That's okay. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with saying both. Just because there's no L doesn't mean you can't put one in there. This is the fun part. Okay, so we're done with we're going to marry the two together now, which is very exciting. So this is just like a standard part of the Porsche building process. So we need to take the platform down here. And put this over top, and if I didn't do anything grossly ignorant, they should all just fit together. Like a glove. Okay. There we are. That all's fitting down in together. That's good. And then the next step, see all those little arrows on there? That's showing me all of the points that I need to put together to make sure that this all stays together now that it's combined. Okay, so that was two. There's those two up here. I don't even know what I just did. Cool. All right, that's fine. All right, and moving down, keep moving along. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, and the last ones. Ooh, come on. Everything went in just fine except for the very last one. There we are. Haha. Look at that. Okay, we're getting to have ourselves a lot of car here. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. All right. So, sounds like Posley's will be most likely out this evening. As far as getting chat to work in YouTube, is anybody out there right now capable of offering any sort of suggestions for how one does that? Because admittedly, I actually have no idea. I've never commented in YouTube on anything, and this is the first time I've done any live streaming event, and I have no idea what it's like as somebody watching the stream to be able to comment. So if anybody has any great advice to pass along to my father, that would be awesome. Actually, I know Lex's parents earlier, or last night, or at some point, were having a tough time figuring that out as well. So I have no idea. If you guys could help, that'd be great. Okay, the last bag in box 2 is putting this stuff together. And putting on some final touches here. Oh, Taco Cub. Oh, streaming genius that he is. The video is almost full width on the browser. Thank you for the knowledgeable advice, Taco Cub. What's it asking me to do here? Looks like we gotta flip it around. And I guess that's supposed to be there. Taco Cub, thank you for explaining that. Hopefully that will help. Aha. Oh. So this is fun. We're the last bit of this bag in the box is building the seats. So the seats are kind of a nice little way to finish off the box here. Okay. And as I was talking about last night, sometimes when you're building these sets, the only downside to doing digital instructions is you can't actually hold this thing up to it to see where it's supposed to go. But if you know, like looking at the image as it is, that it's supposed to be in the middle, this is the wrong axle. This is a 7, which means this needs to be in the middle, and that means there's 3 on either side. 1, 2, 3. Like so. And that's going to be in the middle. 1, 2, 3. 3 on either side. It works. Okay. There we go. And one more on this side. There we go. Oh. Ow. Okay. Sometimes the Legos bite back. We're building seats that have nice side bolstering for your hips for when you're going through those hard corners. Keep you in place with adjustable knee support. As most fine German automobiles have. All right. There we are. Hey! Well, look at that. I think Taco Cub might have solved my dad's issues. Or at least the chatting on YouTube related ones. A little piece ran away from me. There we go. Okay, making a headrest here. Alright, which one is this supposed to go into? Looks like it's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one. There we go. We are just about done with this seat. Got an adjustable headrest, adjustable knee supports. I don't know about anyone else, but building this makes me want to go out and buy myself a Porsche. Okay. There we go. You know, Brian, it's funny. I was Hey, you signed up for this.
Hey.
One of my music books, my Scott Joplin music book, was one that you had bought for me one time, and you signed the inside of it, and you actually talk about, sorry, it's not a Porsche, but here you go. So, point being is, Brian and I have known each other for quite a while, and a lot of our tastes haven't changed. Okay, where's this go? That goes there. Getting the seat on here is kind of tricky. There we go. Okay, so we've been getting this seat in here, and now we need to obviously anchor it by hopefully pushing this through something somewhere on the bottom bit, like that. Haha! One seat in place. Uno. Now let's work on the seat for the other side, and I think that will end this box once we finish the seat on the other side. So finish this box, and the stream for this afternoon. TBD as to whether or not we'll continue this evening. Yeah, Brian, it's been a lot of fun playing. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to satisfy my urge. But I know you'd be really happy for me if I got one. So that's nice to know. Playing my new piano, I've been playing a lot of ragtime on it. And it's so much fun playing it on such a nice piano. It just is making me look forward to the isolation being over, because piano needs a little bit of a tune, and I figure we're waiting for that to be done before the guys that sold me the piano come out to take care of it. And I have a one key. It's the E flat below middle C, that when you tap it, it clicks. There's a lot of E flats in ragtime. Left hand really spends a lot of time around there, so I really need that to be fixed. I've actually noticed that it's been making me, there have been times where I've been avoiding songs that have a lot of E flat in it because I don't like hearing the clicking. As silly and first world problem-y as that may sound. Yeah, Mom, I promise I will do a piano live stream soon. It's a shame that there's so much delay when, heck, even using FaceTime, or Zoom or whatever. Because if it was not as delayed, that'd make for some fun karaoke. D sharp, yeah. I don't think that's gonna solve the problem, Dad. Yeah, if there was less of a delay, it'd be real nice, because then we could play and jam. But as it is, unfortunately, when I do this, it's gonna be all play, and people can listen if they want. It'd be like listening to the radio. But I would love to be able to have Brian singing along. And once we don't have to isolate anymore, I can't wait to have him come visit. Can't wait to have a lot of you come and visit. Most of you. Some of you, eh. You can stay where you are. Man, I don't know if he's still on the stream or not. We were talking about how warm it's getting around here lately. If MD Cordy's still on the stream, I think he gets to win, though, for the grossest weather, because he's down in Texas, and I do not want to be there right now. Ugh. That's too hot. Thank you, Brian. That's very nice. Last couple of steps before we take a break. Hey, Too Darn Hot. That was from that movie we just watched.
Sure was. Like some cold water.
Okay, let's see if I can figure out which one of these this is supposed to go through again. That side. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Nobody noticed that I hadn't put this piece on? Come on, guys. Quick fix. There we go. Got it. All right. It's a little bit tighter of a fit with the steering wheel here. But we're getting the captain's chair in place. There we are. There we are. And this will lock it down. There we go. Adjustable. Oh man, I missed. That's annoying. This is tricky because I can't really see what I'm doing down there. Alright, this one needs to go. Okay, I think it's in the right spot now. Oh. Really? Okay, third time's a charm. Haha, okay. Locked into place. Boom. And we got 8 pieces left, and then we're done. Done with box 2 and bag 10. Whatever it is. Let's see here. here. Yeah, Bo James, yes. Get some Phantom of the Opera songs going. Okay, that is the end of box 2.